Hey guys, this is Christian Medina. I'm a local real estate expert here in the areas of Inland Empire in Southern California. And in today's video, I'm going to be primarily speaking about closing costs, but I also want to point out the distinction between down payment and closing costs, because I do run into a lot of people that they come pre-qualified through another lender that I don't know of, and they don't do their due diligence and explain to them that the down payment and closing costs are two separate things. So they come to me thinking that they only have to come in with a certain amount of money at the close of escrow, which is only their down payment, not knowing that closing costs is something that's separate, that is needed. So let's break it down. Down payment is primarily used just to show that you have some skin in the game. So you gotta be able to come in with something to show that you are worthy when coming into a big loan such as real estate is. Now, in order to find out what your down payment is going to be, you would need to sit down with your lender and see what you qualify for. You may be a first-time home buyer. Most of those are qualifying for FHA, which is 3.5% of the purchase price. Or you may be conventional. You might start anywhere between 5 to 10% down payment, or in most cases, a lot of the investors come in with 20% down to get rid of the mortgage insurance. Now, a few things that you should know about down payment. This is something that the lender will talk to you about. There are three ways that you can show this down payment. One is going to be through source funds. So this is money that you have in your bank account, in the savings account. It's going to be traceable money, something that the banks can track down and make sure that these monies are legit. So if you don't have a bank account and you decided to show up with money out of the blue, maybe it's money that you had in your safe somewhere, this wouldn't be traceable. The second way to show that you have a down payment would be through a gift. Now, this gift can come from a family member, a friend, pretty much anyone that wants to give you the money or gift you the money, but it also has to be source funds. Again, they're going to have to show a bank account or some form of proof that this money is traceable and, reliable, and illegal funds. Now, the third way would be through some kind of government assistance, like a grant or a down payment assistance. There's a lot of different programs out there, and again, you would need to sit down with a lender. They're the only ones that are going to be able to tell you what you qualify for and give you a better estimate of what money to bring down. In this video today, I'm going to give you an example for first-time home buyers, which in most cases they would come in with 3.5% down of the purchase price. So in this example, I'm going to give you, say you're out there, you're pre-qualified for a home up to $400,000. We find a home for you that's at $400,000. Your down payment for that at 3.5% would be $14,000. So out of those $14,000, you're going to be giving a portion of that as an earnest deposit, which is money that you give at the acceptance of your offer. Again, this is more skin in the game, that you're showing that you're not playing around. You're going to take a chunk of that money and put it into escrow. Typically, it's about 1% of the purchase price. So if we're looking at $400,000, that would be a $4,000 earnest deposit. And the remaining $10,000 would be money that you would bring at the close of escrow. So after the 30 or the 45-day escrow ends, you bring in at close of escrow the remaining $10,000. Again, that would equal the $14,000 that you would bring in as your down payment. Now, for closing costs, I personally use a rule of thumb of 3%. Could be a little higher, could be a little lower, but in this case, we're gonna go with the 3%. So if you're looking at a house that's $400,000, right? You do it at 3%, you're looking at an amount of $12,000 on top of your down payment. Remember, your down payment was $14,000 for that amount. With closing costs, it's gonna be another $12,000, making it a total of $26,000 that you need at the close of escrow. Now, there are three ways that you can get these closing costs. One, again, is through source funds. So you gotta be able to show that you have an account open somewhere, like a checking account, a savings account, a retirement account, anywhere that you can pull out that money and show the bank that you have that money to be able to pay for your closing costs. Second can also be a gift. Again, if you have a relative or a really, really good friend that's gonna give you the money as a gift, that's another way of showing it. And the last way of doing it is getting it through the seller. Yes, the seller can give you a portion of it, half of it, or they can pay for all your closing costs if that's the way it was negotiated. Now, one thing to know is that the sellers aren't just gonna go out there and say yes, to, in this example, giving you $12,000, because you have to remember, when we're looking at the offered price, so say you offered them $400,000, and say that they were estimated to make $100,000. Now, if your offer is asking them to pay for the $12,000, now their net's going to change. That net to them is going to show as $88,000, not the 100. So this is a tough pill to swallow for a lot of sellers because it's a big chunk of change that they're giving to you out of the kindness of their heart. So one thing to know is that it's never a given that the seller's going to give that to you. Again, they can give you a portion of it, they can give you half of it, or they can give you the entire amount. And that's the best case scenario if they did. Now, whether they give you the full amount or a portion of it, it's going to depend on what offers they have. I mean, if it's a great looking house, you were at the open house, you were at a showing, you saw a bunch of people come through, you know it's going to be a house that's going to get a lot of offers. So if they get in a lot of offers, we don't know what the other offers look like. If they're looking at two offers that are virtually exactly the same, one is offering $400,000, this one's offering $400,000, but this one here is not asking for closing costs, and this one's asking for either some or all of them. And if you were in their shoes, which would you take? Would you take the one that's going to net you the most amount of money, or the one that's going to take away from your net? They're going to go with this one here. So it all depends. The best scenarios to get these is if the home is sitting on the market for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, they don't have any offers in, so they're more than likely to give some closing costs in order to get the transaction sold and for them to move forward to where they're going next. So in the end, for some people, and the example that I gave of the $400,000 purchase price, you may only have to come in with the $14,000 and then you have the $12,000, either a portion of it paid or all of it paid. It's all going to depend on that scenario of that listed property. Now we get to the part of what is closing costs anyways. What closing costs is, it's all the costs and fees of getting that whole escrow closed. So you have appraisal fees, you have title and escrow fees, lender processing fees and underwriter fees, HOA fees, prepaid taxes and home insurance, and any other lender origination fees. That's just to name a few. Alright guys, so hopefully after watching this video, you have a better understanding on what down payment and closing costs are. So if you like this video, go ahead and click like, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be making at least one video a week to be able to help you guys out. If you guys have any questions on this or any other subject, please go ahead and contact me at 909-576-1122, or you can find me on Instagram, and also my email, which is agent.cmedina@gmail.com. And I'll go ahead and see you guys on the next video. Take care.